Good morning, everybody. My name is Eugene. I'm gonna talk about the function and the importance of prisoner classification today. Let's start with the introduction. Classification processes determine the entire nature of the prison experience, including but not limited to where an inmate is housed, whom he or she is housed with, the programs and work assignments available to or required of inmate, visitation rights, and the amount of type of movement an inmate has within a facility. In making these important decisions, prisons have long relied on procedures to determine where and how to supervise inmates under their control. These classification processes are designed to maintain prison order, allocate necessary treatment services, and provide a transparent basis for decisions that affect inmate life. Classification decisions can be divided into several types. Its first one is initial security, de facto facility classification, and custody classification, determined by external classification systems. Housing program and work assignments, determined by internal classification systems. And reclassifications. Inmates undergo a rigorous classification process upon reception into corrections department custody and are often subject to re-evaluations throughout their time incarcerated. The predominant goal of classification systems is to identify and manage inmate risk, and many studies have focused on classification system and inmate misconduct, recidivism, and violence, as classification systems are also intended to diagnose inmate needs and provide treatment and ensure the efficient allocation of correctional resources. Scholars have focused classification systems, impact on adjustment to prison, provision of treatment, and prison crowding. Research has questioned the ability of a single classification systems to assess the risk and need of all inmates. Many studies have considered gender equity in classification decisions, as well as the additional treatment needs and management consideration to incarcerated individuals with mental illness. Additional research has focused on administrative segregation or classification decisions that result in the isolation of those who cannot be housed in the general inmate population. Complicating this literature is the changing nature of classification system over time and the fact that all states and the federal government have adopted unique classification system. It is therefore difficult to draw conclusions about the state of knowledge on classification practices as a whole. Nevertheless, the past several decades have seen an emphasis on objective classification or empirically based strategies to make classification decisions. The use of risk assessment tools has become commonplace in the realm. Though past research focused on classification systems as means to control and monitor inmates, a promising future direction lies in needs assessments and the ability to deliver individualized treatment to incarcerated individuals. General review is the process of classification involves determining inmates' risks and needs and assigning them to facilities, custody levels, housing, and programs consistent with those needs. Classification systems involved a series of related decisions. Initial classification decisions determine facility security and custody levels. Inmates must also be placed in specific housing within facilities and given individual program assignments. Classification decisions are updated periodically in reclassification. The goals of classification systems are numerous. They include, but are not limited to, managing inmate risk, reducing prison violence, and minimizing escapes, and also providing programs to address prisoner needs, and equitably assigning inmates to facilities and custody levels. That was my presentation. Thank you very much. Have a good day.